Good evening. Underground World News Live. Here for another one on this July 8th, 2024. Thank you, E-Fits. Good to see everybody out there. Want to thank everybody out there that shares the stream. You know who you are. Appreciate it to the fullest. Much love to all the mods out there that hold it down. I did go ahead and launch a stream on Rumble as a backup here tonight. I had some people complaining that because I had to remove the last stream. I told you whenever I play my music at the end, the stupid copyright stuff on YouTube can come back to bite me. It's a bunch of shenanigans, but regardless, I had to take down the last stream because of that. But I want you guys to be able to still find the stream. Apparently, D Live has issues playing back the replay. So does Kick. So we're going to try Rumble as a backup. And hopefully they stay over there. Although I will say, people were complaining, and I did notice here a couple months back that on my streams, it was missing 15, 20, 30 minutes of the stream. They were getting clipped out, snipped out. I never did get an answer for that, why it was happening. I doubt I ever will, but I didn't like the fact that the stream was getting... There's a bad echo, huh? Anybody else have a bad echo? Nope. Susie said refresh. Okay, so thank you, Susie. And E-Fits. And everybody that gave me 5x5s. I do appreciate that. So, thank you for all the feedback, everybody out there. To the fullest. Got plenty to cover here tonight. If you need to get anything to me, dabu78yahoo.com is the email. If anything does happen to the stream, like I said, we're live over on Rumble as the backup. I think Galra over there holding it down. Much love. Thank you for the feedback there. Hoodie Ross, everybody over there on D Live, much love as well. Good to see everybody tonight. And gonna get this thing rolling. All right. Start off with one here that I thought was pretty interesting. That normally I save these for the back of the lineup, but I don't get the time to ever cover them. So I wanted to make sure that I got this covered today because you don't see this stuff every day. I do believe that in terms of unlocking all the mysteries here, a lot of it is underground, and that's where we're going to find it. Buried all across the planet. We've seen this time and time again, even right where we sit in this country, in the United States. But they found a new site, one that's 5,000 years old. And that's pretty old. That's pretty significant. 5,000-year-old site, just hiding in the open, so to speak. It was hidden underneath the sand mound. When I hear stories like this, I can't help but think of all the mounds and stuff like that across America. We have the Adena that were said to have built a lot of the mounds in the United States. And there's even Serpent Mound, which is very unique, very interesting. I went up there and got some drone footage of that location, covered it several times. But you never know what you're going to find inside some of these mounds. The ones they did excavate, I don't know if it was Arkansas, Mississippi. It was one of those, or maybe even St. Louis, I think. They found these like, I don't know what you want to call them. They're like plates, so to speak, made of copper. And they're just shaped into different things like people and animals and stuff like that. And you just never know what you're going to find at these sites. But this new one was a ceremonial temple. They found human remains, and it's in Peru. And again, it was just hidden beneath a sand dune. So they wiped away all the sand, and boom, there you have this ancient site. And a lot of times the sand can preserve these locations. We talked about Göbekli Tepe, the ancient site that's in Turkey, said to be the oldest temple site on the planet. And the World Health Organization got their hands on it. That's right. Well, the World Economic Forum, that's who it was. World Economic Forum get their hands on the site, and we're supposed to be protecting it. Many say they've destroyed it because of what they've done. They've made sure that they put these roofs or canopies over the site, only in a couple different spots, and you can't see what's going on from satellite imagery when they do this. They destroyed part of the excavation site in doing this because they just just drilled and dug holes to put up these canopies right through the ancient stuff they're supposed to be excavating, destroying it. So, when the World Economic Forum gets involved in some of these places and sites and control it like that, it tells me there's something big time going on there. And they want to keep it hidden. Judgment War Productions. Just love the Beard Vet coffee. Much love and shout outs, of course, to Beard Vet Coffee. Make sure to check them out for all your coffee needs. And thank you, Judgment War. No doubt, Colin and fam. I hope all is well and that you're doing good out there. Thank you for that, man. If I have another conference, I hope to see you there. Hoping to have some updated news here in the next month or so on something. I hope all is well. Thank you for that. I'm going to take it up to space. Anyone out there that's got a telescope, there's a few different things out there that you could be locking onto. There's always, with clear skies, there's a few different things out there you could always be locking onto. I mean, just being able to see the rings around Saturn with your own eyes, with your own instrument, your own backyard, no one there to manipulate what you're looking at. It's wild. It's crazy. The moon, locking onto the moon, watching it for hours, seeing these things traverse the moon, back and forth, all these crazy things. There's just so much going on out there. There's even another comet right now that you guys can see, not with the naked eye, but with a telescope. It is right here. I believe an astronomer out of Slovakia caught this July 6th. Clear sky. And this was the highest peak in Slovakia, in the Tatras Mountains. And so he says if you want to see this comet and you're located in the northern hemisphere, which we are here, try your luck in the upcoming days before the moon becomes too bright in the sky. After sunset, the comet may be found low over the northwest horizon beneath the constellation of Ursa Major. So with those directions, you should be able to look at it in that, just like you're seeing in this picture, look in that direction and see this thing in the sky with your telescope. A bright, vivid tail and all. It's at a magnitude plus 6.8, which is right below being able to see it with the naked eye, but an easy target for a backyard telescope. If you guys do catch things or anything like this, let me know. Would love to share it, start to stream off with the shot you guys catch. Yeah, and I do believe we've got close encounter here of a large object. Let's go to, yes, an asteroid as big as the Statue of Liberty, skimming past us right now at 65,000 miles an hour. And this is not an immediate threat, but they're warning of this 2024 MT1. It's going by right now at 1.5 million kilometers away. But whenever we have these, I like to bring it up because in the past we've seen earthquakes associated with these flybys. We've seen fireballs associated with these flybys. Not that it's always the object itself, but there's so much debris and other objects out there, it can kick anything else out of orbit or send something our way. We've seen it in the past, but this is said to be a gigantic asteroid, 2024 MT1, skimming by us. It is 260 feet in diameter. Like I said, that's compared to the size of the Statue of Liberty. It's close approach right now. So you never know. Just saying. They say the asteroids of this size are considered potentially hazardous due to the significant amount of damage that they could cause if they were to collide with Earth. We've seen fireballs hit Earth several different times, but not this size. They say that one of this size could cause widespread devastation, including massive explosions, fires, and tsunamis. But it's not going to hit, so. Just a heads up to one of the larger objects passing by us right now. Yes, Illuminati, much love to all the purebloods out there. Hope all is well with everybody. Just getting things started, going here, so to speak. I want to zoom in here and check out a couple things on the quake map. Nothing super major going on here in the United States, but we do have some small activity in one here in South Texas, which could be associated with this hurricane, all this pressure that's coming in. Dennis checking in from El Paso, out there with Uncommon. Vegas in the house. Much love to all you guys. But yeah, South Texas, Houston, and I'm going to get to this in a minute, everything with the hurricane. But you've got all that pressure from a hurricane coming in. It can cause small quakes or set off fault lines. And this would be an area you would see something like this. Nothing massive. I think this 2.9 Stockdale or close to Stockdale. If you guys feel any of the quake activity out there, let me know. Much love, Kathy. It's all good. Much love, purebloods. Through and through. But this up here off the coast of Vancouver, west of Seattle, is a decent little swarm that's kicked up out here with mid-level quake activity. Not sure exactly what's going on there, but you may recall this line of the Cascadia that I talk about that runs here on the West Coast. It runs down through here for like 600 some miles. And they've recently stated that they have found fissures on the floor and that all this gas is being released and all these bubbles are coming out of these fissures. And they have upped the magnitude and the odds and all that of a quake coming through here to where now, and most people don't realize this, the evening news certainly isn't saying anything on this. This area is expected to generate a quake much larger than the big one. And when I say the big one's always talked about coming from mid to Southern California down here. San Andreas fault line up to the Hayward fault line. Those regions right there, that's where the big one they always talk about they expect to come from. But this Cascadia, they say, can beat that now. It can release more energy over a larger area, absolutely wipe out the entire coastline. One of the key things here is that I'll say about our upper west coast is this, though. And it's kind of interesting that they built it this way. I'm guessing that it's because of the national forests. I mean, that's pretty much what I see here. I've never been up here. You know, national forest always seems to be, to me, ancient stuff that they're hiding. That's all it has ever checked out to be to me. When I get out here, and I've been out here in the Four Corners. I've been out to Area 51. I've been out here to all these areas out west. When I'm in them, in these national parks, it's like you're in an ancient place. And that's real deal. You know, there's ancient war here. What was going on that caused it to be a desert. But that's all another story in itself. But notice, the big cities are tucked away off the coastline. This could be a bit of a blessing because, just because you're over on the East Coast, it's nothing like this. The cities are sitting right smack dab right here, or they'd be on these ports, they'd be major ports. Not all national parks. There's something definitely going on. You've got Mount Hood and all this other stuff up here. Mount Rainier. Some major mountains up in this area. But look at that. Salem is off the coastline. Portland is off the coastline. Olympia, Tacoma. Yeah, they're on the water up in here, but they're not on the ocean. Like, none of them are. Medford. You have to slip down into Northern California, Eureka, before you find one that's right there on the coastline. Major city. So, yeah. I'll update you if we see anything else coming from the quakes. I do have an update, though, that's kind of odd here. This is the stuff I try to warn people about, man. You may recall me talking and putting out information on this North Dakota train derailment. Had chemicals. Sometimes they don't say exactly what's going on. And as I warn, that's not good. Because look at East Palestine, for instance. They like to sweep things under the rug. So after I reported on this whole thing going down and reporting that they let this fire burn for 12 hours, they order this very, 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 very late shelter in place because of the toxic smoke and fumes and the release of the chemicals. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, this is like, how many people were downwind from this? For 20 hours or so? Just billowing again. So, really, this deserves, anyone that's up in the North Dakota area near this, I know this was in a remote area, but that doesn't mean, ignore it. If this thing was to the west of you, to the northwest, anything to the west of you up there, and you were potentially downwind, I'd look into it. I know some sites got the wind patterns for like the past couple weeks still on file. You can go in the archive and you can type it in and you can see where the wind was blowing on this day, right out of this area. You could do it right now, especially if you're concerned. Again, with the East Palestine thing, it leached into the atmosphere all these toxic chemicals that rained down on like a dozen states. And they just came out and admitted this and said this here recently. Like in the past month, I reported on it. Affected all kinds of states because it got up into the atmosphere and it started to rain down. Chemical rain. All over everything. On people that had no clue. People that were paying no attention to this, that didn't care about this, or thought that this was 500 miles away, it would not affect them. Well, you better think again. Well, that's what you get for being naive, I guess, and just being ignorant, in my opinion. When these big events happen, you've got to pay attention. You really have got to. The situation in East Palestine isn't going to be fixed itself anytime soon. It's still got stuff leached into the earth, and really, there's nothing they're ever going to do. They're just going to let time pass, and that's what they're going to do here with this one. So, again, a very late shelter in place issued, briefly at that, very late after this derailment. So it's just pathetic. But let the people sit out there and watch this thing for half a day. All the farm animals, everything else, all the crops getting hit by it before they say anything. Yeah, so just a heads up, man. Don't want to see anyone get caught slipping up in this. Yeah, any rain from this whole ordeal that came down, guaranteed toxic stuff was coming down on people. All right, let me shift over here to the hurricane. It is that time. The hurricane season has begun, and they did indeed steer this one right up into the belly of Texas. Now, you may recall on the last stream or the one before, I showed the spaghetti models of the tracks, the potential tracks of the storm system. And they said that it could swell potentially to Category 3, between 1 and 3. It did make landfall at a Category 1. State of emergency issued in Texas, parts of Houston. I did not see any reports on cloud seeding before this event, but I do know that it's flooded out bad. I've already seen videos and clips. I put out a video on myself on it that showed an aerial shot. Port Houston facilities all closed. All these oil rigs and everything shut down and got shuttered because of this coming through. And then we've got, there's a shot right there. At least 2 dead out of this whole thing. Major flooding in Houston. It reminds me of exactly what I've been warning you guys about this happening again. And here it just happened again. I've said this repeatedly about Houston being like a bowl and getting filled with water. I said the story multiple times, and like here, unfortunately, I might have spoken into existence again here, but no, I don't think that they're gonna stop with these events. I believe the weather is weaponry. It's being used as such, and this is just causing a lot of damage, a lot of chaos. And as I've said in the past, when it comes to these floodwaters, you got to be very careful. We've gone down and we've done rescue and help and all this in storms and floods. And I've chased hurricanes, as crazy as that sounds. But these waters can get toxic. And you got to be very careful when venturing out into them. Sometimes they can have all types of sewage and stuff like that. Sometimes you just never know what's in town. Old chemical plant or this and that, and it's flooded out. All that's in the water, and you don't want to be wading in it, you know, to the best of your ability. Just be smart about it. I did see a story earlier about someone dying in the water. They got electrocuted. And see, that's the stuff you don't want to see happen. You got to be very cautious. You just never know. I mean, with this much water out there, down, power lines down, all it takes is one to energize the area, and it could be enough to start killing people. Here, I'm going to play a shot here. This is major flooding from this hurricane, Beryl. This is White Oak Bayou. If any of you are familiar with that, and it's swelling over its banks. Here we go. Now, I can only imagine that down here in Louisiana and Texas and Florida, all those places that have gators, any of these bayous, boy, that's another thing. Watch out for gators. I've seen a story on that here recently. And I also reported on the last one, people out in South Texas in these same waters getting bit by sharks. Multiple shark attacks happened. It was 4 over last week, and one lady got mauled bad. She's going to be scarred for life, took huge chunks, but that's what sharks do. So you go in the ocean, that's what you got to deal with. And as I said last time, it just blows my mind that some of these places don't have safety netting out off the beach. Like 50, 60 yards out. It's very easy to do. I've seen it in other places. Some places just neglect to do it, and their people, their visitors or whatever, get mauled by sharks, which is just madness. The money you would spend on putting coast guards and all this other crap out there, just put the net. It's an ocean, for crying out loud. That's why I like lakes. I like lakes with sandy beaches. Yeah, man. I don't have to deal with the sharks. And it's fresh water, too. And if you can find one, good lake with sandy beach. My preferred, get a houseboat on it, whatever, and just chill, hang out. Don't have to worry about all that madness. Yeah. Anyway, I want to show you the worst spots to be in the country real quick in terms of hurricanes. Well, I was for afford that. It looks like Miami. Miami is top of the list, followed by New Orleans, which has been dodging bullets. I was going to say if Texas didn't get hit directly by this Beryl, New Orleans was next target. And just as bad as Houston is with filling up with water, because it's like a bowl. Same with New Orleans. We've seen this in the past. So, those places, very susceptible. Houston has taken a direct hit. And we'll have to watch the coming storm systems. We're just getting going with the hurricanes. North Carolina, out here off of the Outer Banks. This is a very interesting area. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been to the Outer Banks? Have you ever looked at it from satellite? It literally looks like something was like the land extended and then goes into the ocean. And it's in rows, like square, like checkered rows. I've showed this before in the past. It's like, who did that? Who built that? You could turn a cheek and act like that's not there? It just goes out into the ocean like like some Bimini Road type crap? It's insane. And it's all down through there. And who built the whole Outer Banks reef, the whole Outer Bank itself? We found crazy anomalies there. And I ain't even going to speak on because I want to get to some of these places and find them and prove them first, like we've done with some West Coast stuff. But this is very interesting out here in some of those places off the Carolinas, man, that I've seen, that I've been to. I took boats out to some of these places just to investigate them. And yeah, it ties into Atlantis and everything else. It's just really nuts. I mean, zoom in and look at the area. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'll have to pull it up some other time. That's really target zone, and it always will be for hurricanes. Not too surprising, though. You may be feeling the heat out there right now. It's pretty bad, and it's widespread. 150 million Americans. It's a lot. Under weather alerts. Under this, what they're saying, potentially historic heat wave. It's testing major power grids. Talked about the grid before and its different sectors. Some of them can go down and not affect other areas. Other spots, if just one or two of the wrong substation, if they get hit or go down, it can take down a large area. Texas obviously running their own. The heat here, though, for this weekend, and much love, shout outs to D. White. Man, one of my crew homies, man, he's been sending in little screenshots of the weather out there. Joe saying 90 plus in Pittsburgh. Yeah, man. Yeah, brother, I feel you. It was it's been mid 90s, between 93 and 95 the past 2 days here. So you can definitely feel it. Stay cool out there. Check in on anyone else. But D White has been showing us these temps, man, like above 100 temps. And it's like, dang. Yeah, it is summer. That's true. It's summer. You're going to see some heat. But one thing I've come to learn is you can't just take for granted anything. When they will use weaponry, weather as a weaponry, it all costs at any point. We know that major drought and mega drought is a weapon that they're using, and it's moved into the Midwest more and more. And with all these high temperatures, look at 114 in Arizona right now as we speak. Insomniac. I bet you better have some AC running at night. And you're going to sleep in that. You can even breathe in that. 119 there in the desert southwest. TB, man. I hope all you guys that are out there come out to see us in Vegas when we get there. You better. Maybe the only time we get out there. I mean, every single one of you. Copper Indio. Also check out a place called Ashakan. Aha Khan. That's now Chesapeake Bay. Ah, the history in VANC. Very relevant soon. Hey, I'm telling you, man, I think that we've got more ancient stuff right beneath our feet than they will ever tell you. Matter of fact, I know we do. And they just don't never want you to go looking or ever figure it out. So, yeah, stay looking. How long is the drive from KY to Vegas? My brother, we're going to have to speak on that. Because it's going to be happening. Vegas, I was wanting to be there right now. That was the whole plan. It didn't happen, obviously. I got rocked and demonetized and derailed and all that good stuff. It threw me for a whirl. And a bunch of other stuff in life. And I've had to work my way through all this stuff. rolling with the punches, and I'm hoping spring of next year we get out to Vegas. Man, I think spring will be a little bit cooler than 120, don't you think? A little bit more enjoyable. I will say though, the drier heat is more tolerable than the humidity. The humid heat, man, that's what sucks. The humidity can, even not on a super hot day, can make it miserable. So it's all about the humidity to me. You can keep it. Of course, that's what a lot of plants and things thrive in and grow well in, though, is this humid temperature. So I will say that. Out here where I'm at, in the Appalachian, eastern parts of Kentucky, what you want to call the woods or the forest here, it's more like a jungle. I swear. You roll up into certain places, I'll just say that. I joke with friends and family sometimes. I'm like, man, it's like we just entered Jurassic Park. It's like, it's crazy. Trees you don't see anywhere else, and all this other stuff. It's like a jungle, man. When you got big cats roaming around, yeah, it's him was like a jungle to me. And we've got mountain lions, like full size, roaming. We've got bobcat that are nice size. Got bears. We got some stuff, man. You gotta watch it, man. Just the other day, well, within this past month, they said that a bear was just walking down the street. Yeah. I like animals. I like animals, even though they're deadly. In a sense, I like animals more than I like humans, in in a lot of instances, because a lot of people out there suck, and you know what I'm talking about. Yep, all idiots out there got us into this mess. Continue to get us into this mess all over the place. If they just wake up, right? I want to point out real quick the hottest and coldest temperatures ever recorded in America. The hottest, can you believe this, was in Greenland Ranch, California, 1913, 134 degrees. And thank you, Marley, for the 5 coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest. 134 degrees. That is like, definitely can cook an egg on the front of the car type deal. Like, wow. Behind that, Lake Havasu City. I've heard a lot about Lake Havasu. People going there, have a good time, boating, swimming, all that stuff. I bet it'd be fun. But 128 degrees? I don't know about that. Of course, again, you all sitting there giving me the temps out there right now, and Vegas ain't too far off from some of these, man. Well, these are the highs for these cities here. Laughlin, Nevada, 125. That was in June of 1994. And the coldest, negative 80, coming out of Alaska. Gosh. Negative 61 out of Colorado. Negative 60s out of North Dakota, Idaho. I don't know how you guys do it. Negative 66, Wyoming. I don't know how you guys do it. Yeah, well, yeah, I remember. I remember you mentioning something about that, about how hot it was then. Yeah, it's yeah, man, Vegas is hot. Yeah, I don't know if you want to be out there at this time. Just be safe. It is the desert. It is Vegas. I guess it's probably gonna be over 100 all night long out there. Yeah, that's right, Hoodie. Yeah, I don't trust some of these official temps too. Sometimes it definitely feels hotter than what they state, but we'll keep it pushing here. Look at this. Everybody loves their gas vehicle, right? I know I do. You know, you like to hit the pedal and the gas and be able to go, feel that power. You know, um, if you're ever in an electric vehicle or anything like that, you'll know. Similar to like if you've ever been in like a side by side, gas powered, and then you jump into like a golf cart, you're gonna know the difference pretty quick. Um, they're trying to force us into EVs, and it's something that I don't believe should happen. I believe you should have an option, an opinion that nothing should be forced upon you. But I also do think that a hybrid is probably the best option. I've heard a ton of great feedback. Never heard anything negative on hybrids. They operate different. They actually charge the battery while you're driving in gas mode. You don't have to deal with all these stupid charge ports and stations and all that. You get the economic value out of it, I hear, is just insane. And that, as an option is something that I like and like to hear. And I like to just know that you got the option to get gas powered anytime that you want it out there. You know that they're trying to attack us with this carbon stuff. So one way that they do it is they go after these big companies that make all this stuff, like GM, for instance, that makes cars. And now they're telling them, we're going to make you pay us $146 million in penalties for emissions violations on all these older vehicles. So they're wanting them to pull them in and fix all this stuff and trying to use this as an example of why the carbon stuff is through the roof and that you should drive EV. And it's just like, psh, get out of here. But I'm here to tell you, they're pressing GM. They're pressing these big companies. The people may not care. They're just like, I ain't got to deal with it. We will have to deal with it. GM caves, then they're going to be pushing nothing but EVs or majority EVs. And that's not good, because once they go down that route, and that's the only option we got is to choose from EVs, then you're screwed. You have to have options. You have to have someone willing to stand their ground. I don't know, man. This is how companies get tore down when they come along with these schemes and they force them upon them, even the biggest out there. The biggest names in American history that you've ever known out there, the biggest corporations, can get torn down by this beast, by the Biden regime right now. Check this out. All right. You guys know the bird flu is something that they're priming all across the board out there, and they have been. And this is, it makes me wonder. When I look back at everything we went through, I noticed that some places around the world locked down and complied with every little thing that they were told a lot quicker, a lot easier than other places. And you know that the elites paid attention to all this. They were taking notes on all this, on which people across the globe were basically the quicker the easier to submit. The ones that didn't put up a fight, the ones that just said yes sir and did whatever. And then they seen the ones that would put up a fight. Okay? Well, you say H5N1 is coming. Dude, after these stories, how can you say that? Like, take your pick. Like, it could be like one of like a dozen. Luis, thank you for the coffees, man. Much love, brother. Right back at you. Thank you so much. You say H5N1, and why I say that is because There's so many different variants already. Let me read here. Can you believe this? Now look what's happening. They're rolling out hysteria in Australia. And I think to myself, is this really it? Is it beginning right now? They're down in another hemisphere in a whole nother time of the year right now. And they're rolling this out there. Okay? They are talking about H7. That's right. H7 influenza. It has infected 8 farms in Victoria in Australia. And it seems like, I felt like they looked at Australia and like all the Australia locked down quick. They complied pretty quick. We jabbed them up pretty good. They didn't fight back too bad. Compared to other places. Let's roll this out there. And that's what they've done. McDonald's has cut the time they serve breakfast in Australia by 90 minutes due to an egg shortage amid an outbreak of the bird flu. So here we go. More than 1 million birds in 2 states combined euthanized as the government is responding. Here we go. And they're doing it in Australia, down under. So McDonald's explained in a social media post that instead of stopping at midday, they're going to end breakfast at 10:30 now due to the egg supply issues, which means this is going to go through the roof. Much love, Pixie. Through the roof. Yeah, here we go, Dub. Here we go. This is it, and it's literally out of sight, out of mind. It's like Americans are up here looking the other way, living their life, doing all this, not a word of it. But down there, it begins. Truly, it begins. And for these things that go global, you have to watch moments like this. Okay, their retailers are carefully watching the supply, meaning the price is going up, and egg supply is affected global. So let me go down here. As it shows, all these outbreaks have happened. They're making them kill all these birds by the millions. And this is what it says. That's why I said it could be one of many different strains here. In Victoria, the H7N3 was detected in farms. There was a case of H7N9 discovered. There were 2 outbreaks of H7N8. Do you see? I just named off multiple different ones right there. All of these different farms. And the first human case in Australia of bird flu has been reported. It was also in Victoria. It was a child who acquired H5N1. But they were overseas in India when they got it. So here we go. All of a sudden, Australia has all these different variants floating around. Seems the experiment has begun. I mean, from what I can tell here, man, only thing this is lacking is like hysteria. And I truly believe that even if it is rolling out there, the people, everyone is numb still from everything we went to. Some would say it's too soon to pull something. Too soon, you would to pull a ruse again. But something real, deadly, with the 50% kill rate. Oh, dude. That it's over then. When they release that, that's the real one. That's the big dog that they warned about by 2025. What else would it be or could it be? I don't see what could come along that they get more out of. They get more out of this card right here than anything else. Guam, thank you for the 5 coffees, man. Thank you for the support. Appreciate it more than you know. There's nothing. There's nothing out there right now that is sitting there this primed to just do everything that they want. Lock it all down. Nothing. This could go global in an instant. All these different variants. It's got the fatality rate, the mortality rate. This affects the price of chickens. It affects the price of eggs. It affects the price of the beef because the cows are affected, which affects the milk, and all of it is affected. You will wipe out the staples of all of mankind. Right there. We're right there. We're one Monday morning, Tuesday morning from waking up. It's all about the headlines. It's all news driven. It's all it ever is. For real. Timing is everything. So, yeah, they're going through and killing birds. It takes them about a week, 5 to 7 days to take out about a 250,000. It's going through slaughtering. And they had the 1.2 million birds culled already. Imagine when it hits here. I don't see it just fading away. I don't. I think the ball has started rolling. This is it. You still haven't even seen the lethal effects yet. We're just hearing the stories of where it's at, how it's affecting the economy, the different strands. Wait till H7 and 11, something, crazy comes out that's dropping bodies. That's all it takes. Real deal, dropping bodies. They won't have to hype up nothing. There'll be so much hysteria from dropped bodies that it will begin. All right. Let's get an update on Boeing. I got 3 real quick to finish out the hour before we hit the top of the hour. And we've got another one. Sure enough, a United Boeing 757 loses a wheel right after takeoff out of LAX. This is pathetic. This is scary. I told you, I won't be flying anywhere. There's a picture of it right there, falling off. You got these plane spotters these days that sit there and document and watch all this stuff anyway. And they're catching it all. Wheels just falling off. I'm telling you, Jay earlier said, how long does it take to drive from Kentucky to Vegas? I don't care if it's 10 days. I'm driving. I am not flying. I'm not getting on one of these. That's a 767, by the way. Oh, yeah? What's this? Okay. Say. I don't know. This is a Boeing 757-200. So I don't know why they would repeat that error so many times, but regardless of the model, these days it doesn't matter. Doesn't seem anyway. A cult priest is in the house. Much love. They've been falling apart big time. Miss Moke, thank you. Found me on another channel. What? Miss Moke, thank you for that. Much love to everybody out there. Yeah, we are here at the top of the hour. Let me finish up this Boeing stuff though here real quick. Boeing shares drop after the FAA orders an inspection of 2,600 737 jets over an oxygen mask issue. This is just something else, something totally different. Something totally different now. It's like this has just gone to crap. So that's another one. And can you believe it? Boeing pleads guilty to the deadly 737 MAX crash in 2018 and in 2019. They agreed to pay an additional $243 million in fines. Talk about getting pummeled. All right. Loading up a chest for everybody over on D Live. If I ever miss anything over there, man, I apologize. Trying to keep up with multiple chats. Much love to everybody over here on Rumble as well. Really just been watching mainly the YouTube chat. And then when I can, I'll jump over and check the others. And I am busting open a chest for everybody over there. And I want to thank everybody out there that joins us here for these streams. Yes, I am live on D Live here tonight. Kick us down. We are live on Rumble. So Rumble will be the place to find the backups for any of the shows. If they're missing from YouTube, if you go over to YouTube, for whatever reason it's not there, Rumble will be the place to find it, to the best of my ability. Took kick down. At this point, the replays over on D Live are kind of ridiculous. Live, it's good, but people are just complaining about some places, so I added Rumble as a backup. Shouts to Crazy, Wild, Hoodie, MC, For Me, everybody over there, Beer Vet, In Family. Much love, Gary, all the crew. Gonna keep it pushing. Got an alert here. Google Wallet taking steps to use biometrics. So now, Google Wallet is openly stating that they want to take all your biometric data, everything from your passport, and then they want to start to store it on blockchain or on their Google Wallet, on a ledger, or something like that. So they're just the latest company to continue going down this avenue where they're trying to incorporate all this stuff in one spot so they can track everything. So they say that at first that you might want to continue, if you're using this, continue taking your passport. They may give you issues because there may be some kind of bug with it, but this is where they're going with it, where you can just open up this Google Wallet and that's your pass. That's your pass to get in and out of all these places. It's crazy. All right, check this out. I want to point this out with gold. I talk about gold all the time, and I have for years. You guys know it. I'm huge on gold, the physical asset, gold, silver, precious metals. When I see a headline like this, it makes me think, oh, wow. This stuff really could just explode at any time. Here they come connecting it with their climate crap. And they're saying that certain climate scientists and research economists and precious metal investors agree this could be one of the hottest years on record. Climate change, they go on to say here, has long been a popular theme among left-wing media outlets. And they go on to say here that gold has a very low carbon footprint. And in terms of, right here, it says gold's carbon profile and decarbonization potential may reinforce or amplify gold's role as a safe haven asset. Like, are you kidding me? Get out of here. Like, it's already the number one ancient safe haven asset as it is, and now you're going to mix in the carbon profile of it, and you're going to say that, I mean, that to me just all leans in favor, massively in favor for gold. So in its decarbonization potential, using it for money instead of firing up the printing presses, which is generating carbon out the smokestack every time they do it, so to speak, is how they're looking at it. But when I see articles like this, and I'm like, man, gold, it just all adds to gold exploding. I put it between $20,000 and $30,000, but that's after this massive crisis event that's going to happen, and people are going to be fighting to survive at that point and going to be caught up in madness. And they're not even going to be paying attention to the price of gold going through the roof when all this goes down. Now, let's take a trip around the world real quick and see where the most livable cities are real quick. Yeah, icebreaker. Not a single one is in the United States. Or Mexico or South America, like none of the Americas. Outside of Canada. Canada's got 2 on the list, but we start off with Vienna, then Copenhagen, then Zurich, then Melbourne out of Australia, Calgary in Canada, then Geneva in Switzerland, Sydney, Vancouver, Osaka, Japan, and then Auckland, New Zealand. And to me, I mean, you're never going to outrun the beast in this tyrannical crap, it seems, anywhere you go, because they're everywhere. But in terms of survival, Auckland jumps out at me there. In New Zealand again. You wonder why Kim.com ran out there. He's living it up, living comfortable. Yeah, he's also on the run from the U.S. government. It's funny how many of these dudes are on Twitter, and even dudes I follow me. Some of these big name dudes are on the run from the U.S. government. Someone, thank you for the 3 coffees. And thank you for the prayers. Much love, Wyoming. Yes, as much love for the prayers from Wyoming, and anyone who doesn't carry, please reconsider. Yeah. Please, thank you for the message there and the coffees. I'd definitely be carrying a gun these days and a weapon, some kind of protection for sure. And I'll get to some of that here in a minute. In terms of the U.S., though, the most affordable housing markets for non-homeowners, basically renters, are what you see here. Pittsburgh, Detroit, St. Louis, Oklahoma City, and Cleveland. Right, and yeah, some of those places got high crime. On the other end, you've got San Diego, San Jose, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Salt Lake City. These days, I mean, all these big cities got some crime going on. And if you ask me, I would say that it looks to me, it felt to me like for some time we've been in a recession. I won't call it a depression yet. But by the time they start calling it a recession finally, I'd say the depression's probably began. We'll just have to wait and see here because they're wiping everything out so bad. And that's part of the illusion is where they just simply don't say what's really happening. They gaslight it. They keep saying, oh, we're close to falling or going into a recession and things like that. And the reality is, especially into this Bidenomics crap and the way that it's designed, we've been in a recession. Are you kidding me? All the jobs wiped out and everything. Some would say compared to depression in terms of the jobs being wiped out in that level. And then they'll gaslight and come back out and tell you, well, we've added all these new jobs and here's the numbers. Well, what you don't tell everybody with your gaslit statistics is all the new jobs are government jobs. That's it. That's it. I showed that last time. That's nuts. That's insane. They wipe out all the jobs out there. Therefore, everything that anything anyone can get is the beast. Go work for the beast. Dude, massive trap. We are in a recession. All the numbers are showing it. All the charts, all the graphs. I've got them all here one by one after another. I'm going to come over to Zero Hedge here and check them out. It's all there. When you adjust everything they're trying to put out there for real-time inflation, we are going downhill and have been while they're trying to act like it's just enough to remain steady and floating up here even. Like it's not that bad. No, it is bad. Wanted to point out the least common jobs out there. Real quick. Some of these you may have never heard of because they're that uncommon. Wood pattern makers, clock technicians, farm labor contractors, furnace repair technicians, wood model makers, private cooks, dredge operators, industrial psychologists. Now, there may be good money on some of these jobs, like the industrial psychologist and the pediatric surgeon. Pediatric surgeon making almost $500,000 a year, but there's only 1,100 total in terms of salary jobs. So this again goes into the whole college thing. People get these big degrees to go and get these jobs. Well, when you get out and you're competing, with 50,000, maybe even more than that, people for only 1,100 jobs. Are you kidding me? That's a whole lot of people that are just stuck like Chuck. Just do the simple math right there on how many people are going into college for some of these jobs and how many jobs are actually out there right now. It's shocking. It's shocking. You can't fit. You can't do it. It's by default going to leave a majority of those people stuck like Chuck without a job, paying massive debt, like we're seeing across the board. It's crazy. I'm going to think long and hard about anything college-wise and degree these days. I really feel like your best bet is going to be in something down a different avenue. Look at this. The lies continuing out of Illinois with the jobs. They're saying that jobs are coming back to Illinois, and they're not. I just told you that any of the jobs coming back are government jobs, and I showed that in the statistics on the last stream. It's crazy. And they'll straight lie to the camera and say the jobs are coming back. But they're not. It's not like new places are opening up and things like that. No, it's not the case. It's this government. And they can do it because they can just print out money to pay off their goons. It's such a scam right now. And in Chicago, now that we're talking about it, over the weekend, another historic weekend of violence. I wonder what the DNC is going to be like. 109 people shot. 19 fatally. 109 people capped in Chicago over the 4th of July weekend. Maybe that timing for August, we're in a very interesting window of time right now. I feel like something huge is going to take place as well. And thank you, Deanne, for those coffees. And thank you for all the prayers. It means a lot. I don't know, man. Chicago, I told you before, one time I was up there, we went down to the beach. Was amazed. Couldn't believe there was a freshwater beach right there. It was amazing. Awesome. As soon as we walked off, somebody got shot and killed from right where we were at. I still to this day, like, in this awe. Same as I was when I was in the car and I turned on the radio when we were rolling out of there and they were reporting on it. I'm like, it can't be. Like, we were just there. We could just walk from there to the car and, like, not even on the highway. Like, it was insane. Surreal. Someone killed right where we were at. Broad daylight. So Chicago's crazy. It's out of hand. I don't know what's going to happen with the DNC. For the people that have messaged and are asking or wondering, and I guess if you don't catch the streams and you're not listening, you're not going to catch it, and I don't know what to say. But folks have asked about DNC, RNC. I'm not going to be able to make either one, unfortunately. Not going to be able to afford to do it, and it's like last minute here now for the RNC coming up here this next week. I do look to have a couple people on the ground up there. If anything pops off, I should have firsthand some people up there. A much love to Beard Vet and Company. He is going up to take care of some official business that he is tied into with this whole thing. He got the honor of becoming an official delegate of his state, which is awesome. And hopefully, if anything pops off up there, he's front and center. He'll see it and he'll relay it and let us know. Hopefully, nothing too crazy. I really think that a lot of this negative energy is being geared toward DNC. So DNC in Chicago, of all places, man, you could see some madness. California, the madness there continues as well. Delivery drivers now being accompanied by armed guards because it's just that crazy. So, delivery driver coming to bring your pizza, man, hops out and goes to the door, take it, and, like, if something crazy is to go down, he's got somebody sitting with a shotty in shotty. Literally. That's why they call it shotgun. Sitting shotgun. That's not. They got someone riding shotgun, loaded, ready to blast. And they're hiring, in the hood, you see these cats doing this, whatever, but, like, people are hiring professional security to do this. It was before people were getting away with all this crap, but now things are changing. So, when you see Papa John's or Domino's pulling up in the driveway and there's somebody out there cocked up eyeballing you, yes, that's probably armed security rolling with them. It gets kind of ominous because you don't know if it's a crew. It's about to kind of come and roll on you. I don't know, man. I'd rather people be armed and prepared to protect themselves than sitting ducks. Let's put it that way. All right, let's dive into some of these politics. Team Biden going on this Monday offensive declares He is firmly committed to staying in the race. A lot of people saying this is a joke. He's a joke. He's just getting dogged by everybody left and right. 5 House Democrats have publicly come out and called on Biden to drop out of the race. Several committee ranking members joining and saying the same thing. Some are privately saying this, just like we heard about the whole thing with Brock. Been hearing all kinds of different stories. One story I didn't get a confirmation on, but it was crazy. I ain't even gonna mention it because I ain't got a confirmation, but Senator says the Biden is politically as dead as fried chicken. So this is what people really think about him. And I think that once you start this and you get this going, you can't stop it. It's just like Tucker said, you can't walk this back now. You cannot do it. It's impossible. I don't know. These guys are starting to freak out. They really are over their candidate. They're Joe Biden here.
I know how numb we've become, but it's not normal. No other candidate for the presidency has ever had to pause his campaign to defend himself in multiple courts. And I would like to point out that in all 7 of his cases, no one doubts that he did these things. We're just sitting around patiently waiting to find out if the wheels of justice will grind fast enough for there to be any consequences. And the media is covering it like it's any other political story, like it's all horse race.
Okay, so what this is showing is, I don't know, the mainstream itself is flipping out. That because they're so left-leaning, their left-leaning God is falling apart right in front of them, and they don't have an immediate answer. Now we have mega donor after mega donor backing off. So it's senators, it's mega donors, and they all want a new candidate. They all want a new candidate. They don't think that Biden can do this. It's crazy because Biden knows who's controlling him. And in one of these clips I'm about to show you here in a second, Joe Scarborough and his Micah, are sitting there trying to brainwash their audience, but they're talking to Biden. And he starts ranting about different stuff. And he goes on to say, yells about these elites. And then he goes, not you guys, talking about Joe and Micah, showing that they are tied into the establishment. But Biden, in saying this, is admitting openly in front of everyone that there are elites in the establishment that are trying to replace him, and he doesn't want it. It's nuts. When you pick up on some of these things, his rambling exposes. It's pretty crazy, and I'm going to play it in just a second. 7 in 10 voters, though, think that Biden is too old to be president. 7 in 10. 7 in 10. And he needs to get the undecided and also take these votes from Kennedy just to catch Trump or to have a chance to beat him. And a lot of people say it's not going to happen because Trump's taken over the undecided category and will probably take in a majority of the Kennedy votes when it comes to the head-to-head between Biden and Trump. So, the lying Speaker of the White House, I cannot stand this woman. I can't even play her clips, and I'm not going to. Flipping out, that's all she does is flip out. It's so cringe. She just flips out and lies and lies and lies. You can see the facial expression right there. I just can't stand none of it. I can't stand lies and liars. And she's been created to go up here on this podium and do nothing but that all the time, and I just can't stand it. And she just does it with an arrogance and all this. I just can't stand it. But they started grilling her about all these Parkinson's questions about Biden and his health. And she just keeps deflecting them left and right with the same crap back and forth and lie after lie after lie. It's so pathetic. What we did get out of it is that he did meet with specialists at least 9 times since July. So there's something going on. Normal person doesn't meet with any kind of specialist if there's not something going on. And you don't meet that specialist 9 times if there's not something going on. So there's something going on. This dude smoked, and you can look at him and tell right here is a tumbleweeds going by in his head. Like, this dude's is gone. It's I'm telling you what, man. This guy's so far gone, man. It's that bad. So, this MSNBC host, Lawrence O'Donnell, is now calling for basically babysitters, a set of training wheels, out there on stage with Biden during the debate and trying to justify it, going into all these details about why they should have handlers out there and that we should be able to hear. That's the only part that I do agree with, is that we should be able to hear these handlers and hear what they talk about back and forth. I do agree with that if it was to happen. But, dude, no, you don't need handlers out there. If you're not competent enough to stand out there and debate by yourself like every other president has in history, then, dude, you don't need to be up there. That's part of the litmus test right there. If you can't even stand up there and do the job without needing help and people propping you up physically and being there to escort you, like, that's pathetic. But we'll play a clip here.
To allow the candidates to have as many staff as they want, join them on the stage throughout the debate, and make sure that all of them have microphones. And the candidates should be allowed to turn to their staffs and confer with them about anything at any time in the debate. And we should be able to hear everything they say, so we can hear if the candidate has competent or incompetent staff. We could hear the candidate overrule some advisors and say something else. We could watch the candidates actually think and process information, including...
That's garbage. If they could think and process information, they wouldn't need to turn around and ask all these people anything. It's pathetic. And he is sitting here trying to give all these excuses and paint this picture for why they need it. And it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. So, let me get now to this angry Joe Biden. Shouting at Micah and Joe.
Have you been tested for any age-related illnesses, pre-Parkinson's, or anything like that that might explain sort of having a night like that where you couldn't finish sentences?
Look, I had before, I was feeling so badly before the debate. When I came back, they tested me for, I thought maybe I had COVID, maybe there was something wrong, I had an infection or something. They tested me, they gave me those tests, I was clear. So, but look, I had a bad night. But the fact of the matter is, look at what I'm doing. I mean, let me put it this way. If there was something that was wrong that night, it's not like it comes and that's one night and it goes away. That's why I've been out. I've been testing myself, been testing everywhere I go, going out and making the case. The night of that debate, I went out. I was out till 2 o'clock in the morning that very night. That very night. It drives me nuts, people talking about this.
Another one.
I'm not bad at what I do. And now, it doesn't mean I never make a mistake. I do. But I'm making those decisions.
one of these, watch how Joe Scarborough is sitting, slumped over the whole time. And then the moment that Biden barks at Micah and says, pow, he cocks back. And he cocks back, like he buffs up, like he's going to do something. It's crazy.
The Biden plan, which got in Israel for the Gaza Strip, is something that was adopted by the UN Security Council. Whether it comes to fruition, it's awful close. We'll see. G7's okay. But look, I'm not going to explain anymore about what I should or shouldn't do. I am running. And if you
Now I can barely stand to even watch these games. I think it's this clip right here.
How can you assure the American people that you won't have another night like the one you did in Atlanta?
look at my career, I've not had many of those nights. It was a terrible night, and I really regret it happened. But the fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be on faith that can intervene on your way to go to?
All right, he's just rambling there. It's this next clip. I want to point out again. Joe Scarborough, this whole time, has been leaning. The whole time leaning against the desk. Now watch this. This is the last clip.
The American public is not going to move away from me as an average voter. And again, I'm here for two reasons, pal. One, to rebuild the economy for hardworking middle-class people, give everybody a shot. Just a straight shot. Everybody gets a fair chance, number one. Number two, remember all this talk about how I don't have the black support? Come on, give me a break. Come with me. Watch. I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more. But if any of these guys don't think I should run against me, go ahead, announce for president. Challenge me at the convention.
Challenge him at the convention. That's what he's saying now. To challenge him at the convention. You just hear what he said? He said the elites that are trying to get him out of there. He said it. He goes, not you guys. And they kind of laughed and smiled like, oh, thanks for calling us elites. You know, how nice of you. But he's like, oh, not you guys, though. He's talking about the DNC establishment elites. He actually freaking said it. Staged or not, or any of that, like, he said that. So that is some truth there of who's controlling this whole thing. It's definitely not him. It's definitely not Biden. Yeah. So, yeah, this guy needs to either resign or be impeached, if you ask me, officially. But that's just not going to happen. They've done such a good job right now of getting everybody and their mama wanting him gone. Dude, that's just the reason to give him to us again. All this crazy madness. No one thinks he can do anything. Imagine they shaft us with him for 4 more years. And a bunch of you saying, there's no way. We had a bunch of people were saying there was no way he would win the last time. And look what they did. Does any of this even matter? It didn't last time. Nothing did. When they're just going to do what they do. So, I don't know. Just for record's sake, I think he should be impeached. I think he should be impeached and all this other stuff, and he can be tried on things he's impeached for, which is how the process of how it has to work. And as we've seen with what they just did here recently, he can't be charged for any official acts, but he can be charged for any unofficial acts. All right. Well, let's get to Trump. Trump and his vice presidential pick, because there's a lot of buzz around this. Okay. And if you don't know, the whole Trump trial, all the stuff around Trump got pushed back from the 11th, coming up here, July 11th, back back a bit. I forget the exact time. It's either 2 weeks or 2 months. He will be at the RNC, and he should be picking a vice president to run. And we've seen all these names and this stuff last time in this poll. Some of these names that are on here weren't even on the poll or even brought up last time. Some of the bigger names that we mentioned last time are not even on the list. Like Carrie Lake's not even on the list. Vivek Ramaswamy's not even on the list. Top of the list is Ben Carson. And he is just the establishment type of pick, I feel, that they would like to couple with Trump here. This is just the route that I feel. It looks like they're kind of going this way. I mean, some of the polls do lean strong on where the people are going to put their vote. So, I mean, it is a vote. When you're going to a poll, if you're going to a poll and they're asking a question, like, you're voting right there. That's what I always say when people go to the polls. So, a lot of people say he's going to be the next one, or they would want him to be the next man. Behind him is Tim Scott. Well, no, behind him is Marco Rubio. You talk about establishment. Get out of here. I don't even want to see that. I don't want to hear that. A lot of these dudes are, man. It's one of my... Come on. Tim Scott, J.D. Vance, Doug Burgum. You're going to go with one of these more popular name dudes. Probably one of these black dudes to get the black vote. For sure, is how I see it at this point. And I was thinking that because that's how they play their cards. I was thinking that also with the women. You know, you take Carrie Lake, run with Carrie Lake, you get a lot of the women vote for all the people that are going to vote for her just because she's a woman. You know, that type of thing. Now, with the Dems, I think all that kind of backfired with them with Kamala because Kamala, she's such a ditz. Hyena Harris. You know, there's like not even a chance. Like, Joe's going down and like no one even cares about the backup. You know, although I will say what we said last time about that the 90-some million in this fund that only can be spent if she's on the ticket. I think that it really changes things because that could enforce Kamala as running as vice still. They could bring in whoever. Grissom Newsom. Obama. And Lowrider checking in with 15 coffees. Always coming through big, man. Brother, I hope all is good. Thank you for that. To the fullest. Another one I hope to see next time we get this conference going or whatever. Big time. A lot of people chomping at the bit. And I get it. I'm right there with you. I just ain't been able to make it happen. Life events and other stuff. But like I said, let me get to this next month or so. I'm hoping that by spring, man, we can have a get together here. Where's the OG Ron Paul at? I don't know. He's in retirement. He's super old at this point. Rand has been stepping up closer and closer in the fold. I thought that he might be in some of these talks, but as much as Rand does for my state, that I'll say he does for the positive, I don't know. You've got to play a certain card, I feel, if you're Trump as a vice president. And I feel like someone like Ben Carson, as they're polling, as they're seeing here, I feel like that's going to probably be his pick. If not Vivek Ramaswamy, I will say, if there's someone that can speak and articulate things, it's Vivek Ramaswamy. But I see someone like Ramaswamy filling a different role for the administration, for the Trump administration. They could stick him anywhere. They stick back transportation cabinet, or anywhere, or as their speaker. Because he speaks so well. Any of those things. It'd be interesting to see how this whole thing shapes up. I think we should all know and agree that it should be Trump in a landslide. With it doesn't matter who his VP is. It's just got to be a decent win. It can't be no It can't be no Judas Pence. You know what I'm saying? It can't be no turncoat. Pence. It's got someone that has somewhat some morals, stand for something. I just feel like this time around, Trump should, if they're smart, they should build a kind of a powerhouse team here. They've already had a chance to fill all these people out and see who people like. Yeah, I don't know. That's right now. I would say that's good odds that you're going to get Ben Carson with Trump, and it'll be a Trump Carson ticket. Trump Carson 24. I could see that. Maybe I was the first to ever say it. I could see it though. Really could. Again, I don't stick any one of them up there with Trump. I don't see it hurting him. Besides Marco Rubio, for anyone that's got a brain, because Rubio is establishment. That's who I said was establishment. Is Rubio, and he is. Much luck, everybody out there. Trump RFK, Susie Q says. I don't see it. I don't see it because I've watched Trump. It's a possibility. Okay, anything's a possibility. But I personally don't see it because of what I heard Trump say about RFK. He dogged him. He dogged him bad. And then how Trump and them are, man, they're gonna roast RFK because I've already seen the goods, like on RFK. This dude he's an old school junkie. He's a dirty piece of. He is not, dude. He's not a JFK Kennedy. Let's put it that way. What made the real Kennedy and RFK's dad real was they were real. They rode against the beast. They really rode against the beast. They went against the grain, and they paid for it with their life. I don't see this character doing it. I see him playing a role every step of the way. And they even set him up in this whole thing. I'm not stupid. I'm on social media all the time. I've seen this from a mile out. They baited, they seeded RFK into the mix. Thank you, free alien, for the compliment. They seeded him into the mix back when lockdowns were popping. This is before any presidential talk, and they timed it perfect. 6 months, 9 months right before any of the presidential run talk popped up. RFK was done hitting the scene big time. He was talking about lockdowns and jabs and all this, and he had the children's health defense. It was all set up beautifully to where, the name, everything, to pull people in. Only thing people couldn't stand was the way he talked, and a lot of people couldn't get over it, still can't. So I seen they had the whole thing set up, and I was like, oh, wow, you better watch out for this one. But he's got so much dirt on him that I just feel like, I don't know, if anything, what RFK does is he takes away votes from either one. Is what it is. It's an election. It's what it is. People may like him. They should be free to vote for him. If you like RFK, you should be free to vote for him. Just the same as Trump. My thing is we should get true results. And again, I don't know if it matters anything that you do. Everyone's living in an illusion that the reality of what happened last election didn't happen. Forget that you saw Trump trains and parades and all this stuff that you're seeing right now again popping up. That you ever saw the stadiums packed full of people, but yet the man didn't become president. It's like, my biggest thing is, what are people going to do if it happens again? Remember last time they really thought people were going to do something. They went and they called in the National Guard and they put a fence up around the White House. They were that geeked. But yet the people did nothing. And the people did nothing to so big of a degree that they had to stage some events, some honeypots to draw some people in. All right, let's take a quick look around the globe here real quick. Because this is kind of important. I mean, in the blink of an eye, the next thing you know, the UK has a leftist prime minister installed. Out of nowhere, boom, just that quick, boom. Although he is trying to kill this illegal immigration deportation scheme out in the open, people are like, what? It's like, look, you're either for or against this stuff. Like, when you're seeing immigrants come into your town or your city and destroy it, and you can't even go into the towns you grew up in, it's hard to support anything behind immigration. But look, this is beyond that. They're just installing whoever they want, like all over the place. Look at this. I thought for sure in France, all the headlines were saying Le Pen and all of them are in the lead. Shocking defeat handed to Macron's party and all this other crap. It was all smokescreen. It was all garbage or something. Like, what? I don't get it. Like, so we turn around and the end result is the leftist coalition is set for a shock victory in the French election. What? Don't be surprised if the people there don't rise up and burn it down. I ain't kidding you. Matter of fact, I think they are. No way. If you don't understand France, out of all the countries in the world, it didn't matter about its size and people, it has one of the largest governments in the world. And Macron has been the little dictator. And even though he was going to get taken out, they had to bring, I don't even know what they did. I don't even understand it when all the headlines were saying the opposite. See, it's just, well, no one saw that one coming. Well, that usually means what? That's Rothschild's boy. Yeah, well, there you go. Where's all of our money go? In terms of foreign aid, you already know that it's getting money laundered in Ukraine. And also everything with Israel. But the world's a stage. And just like you just said with Rothschild has played both sides of every war all the way up to current times. And looky here, what do we have here? The United States is sending money. They are bankrolling all these places. Ukraine, Israel. But this is where things start to blur. This is where lines start to cross here. And if you're paying attention, you can see we're funding both sides of war fronts. How's that? We sure are. That's right. Well, looky here. Israel, we're funding. Afghanistan, Ethiopia, Egypt, Yemen, where they're launching drones and running us out of the Red Sea, and the Houthis are blowing boats up. Yemen. We are sending $1.3 billion to Jordan, South Sudan, Nigeria, which kicked us out of Africa, basically. Syria. You mean the same Syria that fights with Israel left and right, and Israel turn around bombing them left and right when no one's looking? We're funding both sides? Well, we sure are. We sure are. Follow the money, and the curtain drops. You see, the world's a stage. Sure is. Always has been. Always will be. Have to have the eyes to see. In the meantime, I'm going to keep it pushing here, wrapping it up, coming up on top of the hour. New York is turned into Migrant Central, 4-star hotels, housing illegal aliens all over the place. They are receiving $1 billion in taxpayer-funded money. I mean, the people should be protesting. The people's lack of doing anything, like a bump on a log, like sitting there doing nothing, is going to get them hell to pay. Already is. Look at this. Another perfect example. 4 Venezuelan migrants choke and rob a man in Chicago on a train and mugging. I mean, these guys are coming in, killing people left and right. They're coming in droves, and these murders are just picking up. I mean, like, it's begun. I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, what big headline? Some big attack or something? No, it's already happening. So the ball's already rolling. They've been murdering these women left and right. Everyone's turning a cheek. Oh, off to another story. Try to ignore it. No, wait till it happens in your hood. It comes from your building or wherever your place is. All right. Well, brings me to the last couple articles here. Klaus Schwab saying, and this is crazy, this is the same World Economic Forum Klaus Schwab that I warn you about all the time. That in the last warning, I told you that he was sexually harassing people. And people are saying this openly. Is he going to get drug into court? We'll see. I doubt it. Also using the N-word on staff and other people that he wasn't happy with. Can you imagine that? And getting away with all this. Well, now he's saying we must force humanity to collaborate with the elites. And I don't like the sounds of this because this means that they're about to pull an event that's going to try to force something. They haven't been able to get their way. They thought that maybe throughout all this we'd come crawling up on our knees and come to the table to work with them on whatever, and it's not been the case. The world's largely rejected their crap, and they've been exposed, brought into the light. As I was just telling you, even this dirt, So now he's saying we must force this. And I'm going to play this so you can hear what he's saying. You can hear it yourself.
At the same time, we are witnessing rapid technological advances with many opportunities and with artificial intelligence rapidly transforming our production and our lives. And breakthroughs from the fourth industrial revolution provide new opportunities for global prosperity and growth. All those factors will have a profound impact on the future of humanity, provided we are able to work together. To drive future economic growth, we must embrace innovation and foster collaboration across sectors, regions, nations, and cultures to create a more peaceful, inclusive, sustainable, and resilient future. At this critical juncture, the active participation of all stakeholders is essential to ensure a sustainable development path. I'm delighted.
Man, you see all the Chinese dudes sitting there up in that row? A bunch of these dudes just look like evil dudes, man. And I don't know, man. They're all up here. He just said, we got a force. They're all sitting there looking around the room like, Yeah, we got to force this. So they're about to force something. Jay. Yeah, they're about to force something. Yeah, Doug. So all I can tell you, in not knowing what's about to happen, you can all feel something's about to happen, is be ready. I hope that you're in a state like this, right here, that has these ammo vending machines arriving at grocery stores in red states. This is awesome to see stuff like this. You know you're in a freer state, what I call a free state, compared to the slave states. When you can do this, when you can find a place that's selling ammunition just like this, and like I do is roll up and you can get it 24/7, versus a place where you can never get it. You don't have the right to get it, the right to own it, buy it, use it, versus a place that's got it right up at the gas station. It's going down in the mountains, boys. Running low on ammo. Somebody run down to the Quickie Mart and grab us some ammo. Boys, that's the real talk now. Especially if you're in Alabama, I think it is here, Oklahoma, any place that includes these fresh value stores that are pushing this. American Rounds. Yeah, man. American Rounds. We repping that all day. American Rounds, yeah. Go get you some American Rounds. Any ammunition. Stock up. That's the whole thing here. Yeah. And that's really my closing statement here with the stream. We're so close to things. We're in a time where I think you can feel it. Like anything can happen at any moment. I've said before, stock up on all your supplies. Stock up on all your freeze-dried goods. Stock up on any of your food and stuff like that. Much love, Uncommon. Thank you for that. Stock up on your ammunition, big time. Because you're gonna need ammunition to practice, target practice to get good, and then to do whatever it is that you need it for. Hunting, defending. you know. So, medicine, huge and key. Good one, Joe. Um, Medicine is huge. Stockpile it, especially for all the people out there that are diabetic, have diabetes, need insulin. You need to think about things like this. Look at natural remedies, natural things as well. I feel like whatever it is coming, it's going to be a kind of a prolonged event. They're going to try to milk it out. I don't care if it's lights out, if it's just holding the banks hostage, and you can't get money out. I think it'll be a prolonged thing, not just a day or two. I think it's going to be enough to cause widespread panic, and that's going to be the whole point. So they can initiate some things. And right now, the one thing that they want to initiate is the CBDC. They need that crisis I keep telling you about to implement it. Holding the banks or major banks hostage for a few weeks or a month or so, whatever, would do the trick. It would get millions into the CBD. And once you do that, once you get a chunk or a majority in, they'll feel it's a victory because they'll be like, oh, we already got a majority of the people. Even if it's just like 60%, they'll be like, enough of them will talk about it. And so even if they were around 50%, they'd probably say the same thing. Enough people will talk about it now, and it will spread that we completed our task, which was installing CBDC through a digital wallet, which is the last thing that you want to see happen. And some states they already are outright rejecting these moves. So depending on what state you're in, everything's going to fall a little bit different. So, yeah, pet food. Hey, I'm telling you, we need to start thinking of things like you said, pet food. It's a good point, but for anything like old school farm life, like when I grew up on my grandfather's farm and stuff like that, like where there's certain things like you're growing the corn for feed and all that feed for your livestock, not just for you all to eat for the family, but it's being grown for the animals and all this other stuff. Because there is no pet food. There is no running to the store in a crisis and getting something that's not there, that's sold out or gone. That's what I'm talking about preparing for, is that event. In the long term, months could roll into years. And those that took this serious, yeah, they'll have the best luck. Much love again here to everybody that's joined here tonight. Shout outs to Uncommon. Much love there to Luis, to Guam, Marley, Miss Mo K, someone, Deanne, and Lowrider coming in. Everyone with those coffees tonight. Appreciated to the fullest. And a shout outs to Beard Vet for all you guys out there that haven't had a chance to try Beard Vet. You got to check it out if you're a coffee drinker. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Beardvet.com, the place to check it out, man. Got to rep him. He supported us for years. He's going to be out there, basically our man on the ground at the RNC. Anything pops off, I'll be getting the information through him and the crew that he's got there. But yeah, he also has got grooming products for all you guys that rock a beard. And some other stuff there. Make sure to check them out. We love some Beard Vet. And all my righteous cats out there. Yeah, so that brings me to the end of another one. And I hope to have another conference and show. Hell, we have good times there, man. You can never beat when good people meet and they meet up and they talk just you could talk for hours. Like I feel like when we have these conferences, like they go by like so quick. Like good people's around, you're sitting there talking. It's just like damn, conference is over, and the damn the bar, the dining place is closing, and the night goes by. It goes by so quick when you're around good people. It's the last time I tried to make it a multi-day event, kind of, or something. But yeah, man. I appreciate you guys joining me for these live streams. I'm holding them down the best I can right now. I got a lot of stuff coming up in the next 30 days. So I'm going to do everything I can to stick to the schedule. I'll tell you now, in some instances, I may only have hour streams coming up, but it's better than nothing. Because I may be in a position where that's all I can pull off because of all kinds of reasons. But that'll only be short term. And then after that, hopefully, get back in the saddle and doing what we do here. I want to thank everybody out there that shares the stream. If you need to get anything to me, dabu7@yahoo.com. Much love to everybody on Rumble, everybody on D-Live, everybody over here on YouTube. Follow me on X. And Eon. Sliding in. Home plate. Right there at the buzzer. 7 coffees, man. Always, man. You're awesome. I love all you guys, for real. All the support, all the prayers, just being there. Love all the crew, all the pure bloods. Keep it that way. We've got more trials coming our way, I'm telling you. And I can't wait to meet some of you guys in the flesh. That's really all I got to look forward to from here. Meeting good people, making good connections. What else is there to do? Fight this good fight before time's up. And that's it. So, just got to get a few personal things out the way here in life. And it's on. Stay positive, you guys. Take us out of here. Some beats. And I'll be back on the next one. Going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Much love, Susie. Yeah. Much love. Oh yeah, always good times, Camp Bar. Especially can't wait to see you. All the OGs. I love all you guys. Shalom. prayers for Houston and everyone out there that needs it. Much love, good night, God bless. W7 signing off.